Hey guys, it's Miss Coletta here, and today I'd like to look at some diamond problems with you. So diamond problems are a little set of problems that we have in our textbook in Chapter 1 that are basically at this point just kind of number games for us. And our goal is to look at two numbers in these two cells here. And what we want to do is we want to figure out what they multiply to, and that number is going to go up top here in this cell, and what they add to, and that number is going to go down here in this cell. And this is kind of our most basic one where we already have those two numbers and we just need to figure out what they multiply to, what they add to. But as you can see here, I could give you one of those numbers and you would have to figure out the other one based on the given information. Or I could give you the number they multiply and add to, and you would have to figure out the two numbers that get you there. So let's just take a look at the examples. We kind of have them organized from easy to hard and see how they work. So for this first one, as I said, the top cell is going to be representing what we multiply to, and the bottom cell is going to be representing what we add to. So all we need to do if we're given these two numbers side by side is we multiply them together. 6 times -4 is -24. And we add them together. 6 plus a -4. That would be 2. So we're done this one. The next one's going to get a little harder because you're given one of the numbers, but not the other number. So what we have to ask ourselves is 2 times what gives me 10? Because remember, the top here is multiplication. So 2 times what is 10? 5. And then we know that the bottom cell here is addition. So 2 plus 5 is what? 7. Okay, so looking at the third diamond, again we know we need to multiply two numbers to get the top cell and add the two numbers to get the bottom cell. Now I can't figure out what to multiply because I don't have the other number and I don't have the top cell. But I can look here and say -3 plus what gives me 6, because when I add them I should get 6. Well, that would be 9, because -3 plus 9, that's like 9 and then subtracting 3, gives you 6. Now we're ready to do the multiplication. -3 times 9, well 3 times 9 is 27, that negative makes it a -27. And the last one. This is, again, the hardest type of problem. We're looking for the two numbers that multiply and the two numbers that add. And this is going to become our most popular kind of diamond problem, and it's going to be useful to us way later on in our algebra course in Chapter 8. So let's see if we can handle this one. What times what gives me a -6? Well, just when I think about numbers here, in order to get something to multiply to be a negative, I know that one of the numbers has to be negative and the other one has to be positive. Although we don't need to write that positive sign, right? So we know one of the numbers is negative. So we have negative what times a positive something equals -6. Well, the way I tackle this is I first just list out the factors of 6. So if I'm listing out factors of 6 here, it could be 1 and 6, or it could be 2 and 3. Are there any other unique factors of 6, meaning they're not different if we generate them? No, because the only other ones I could think of are 3 and 2, which are the same, and 6 and 1, which are the same. So those are our only sets of factors. Well, I know that basically one of these pairs of numbers has to work, except for that one of them will be negative. So I'm looking for the pair where if I make one of them negative, they multiply to -6 and they add to a positive 1. Now there's a couple ways you can do this. You can just kind of think about it and say, okay, well if I make this 1 negative, then -1 plus 6 is 5. That won't do it. Or you can kind of write them out and write all the possibilities. So let's pretend the 1 is negative or the 2 is negative. The only other options here would be if I had this same pair here, but the 6 was negative instead of the 1. Or I had the same pair here, but the 3 was negative instead of the 2. So let's see which set adds up to 1. Does -1 plus 6 add up to 1? Nope. How about -2 plus 3? Ooh, that one will work. So that tells me that that's my pair. -2 and 3. Okay, well that's diamond problems. Thank you guys so much for joining me.